Hey, it's your old pal Slim, and this is 70mm podcast for movie lovers just like you. Disclaimer at the top of this show, folks. We're not experts, but we do love watching movies. With me each and every episode is my close friend and artist, Danny Haas.
Hello.
And our close friend and movie insider, Proto.
Jeremy Renner, Anthony Mackie, united again for the very first time.
Every movie that we cover is connected to a theme for that month, and this time it's BIGELOWBER. We're covering the filmography of the master herself, Kathryn Bigelow. You can use the chapters in your podcast app to skip to our main discussion from Kathryn Bigelow in 2008, The Hurt Locker. I was almost just start laughing at the intro because I said the master herself. And I mean, what's our average rating so far for the movies this month? I mean,
not so good.
Not so good to start off, but you know, it's a filmmaker's journey. Okay. And now
This is why we do it.
This is why we do it. We try to learn something. We try to feel something new as friends, as movie watchers. And this is when she won Oscar for the first time. First ever woman to win Best Director. And I think Best Picture also. Can anyone, Proto has the keyboard. Can you verify that? I believe she was the first ever
confirm.
To win that award.
Let's see. Very close. It won for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Original Screenplay, Best Film Editing, Best Sound Editing, Best Sound Mixing.
Cripes.
I tried to play the drum roll audio, but it wouldn't work. One time I could have used it here. It's not, I'm hitting play, but it's not going. Let me hit play one more time now. Let me try cheering. The soundboard's busted, folks.
Thank God.
This is an absolute nightmare.
There were other nominations that did not win. Best Actor, Jeremy Renner. Did you know he was an Oscar-nominated actor?
Who did he lose to that year? Crap, it's working.
That's a great question.
I didn't even hear it. You guys heard it, but I didn't hear it. That's a big problem for me.
Uh-oh. We got a tech problem.
Jesus.
All right.
Do we need to pause the show?
No.
Let's just cancel
fuck
the
it. God dang. We have to rock the vote this month for November. We are allowing our Patreon audience to choose the theme for November. It's down to two themes. One side will be November. We will only cover new releases from November or maybe recently. Brand new. On the other side of the table is Winvember. Lord knows this show needs a dub. We've seen the reviews come in, tagged 70mm pod. We've been having these watch parties for all these movies. I mean, it's like it's all you can hear is fart noises coming from these watch parties.
And not the soundboard type.
No, and I can't even hear the soundboard because it's friggin' busted. But Winvember, we'll be able to choose whatever the heck movie we want, Proto. So have you thought about it? You've been watching the votes coming in. We're going to be keeping the polls open until the last week of the month.
Yeah, and I would hate to sway the vote one way or the other. That's not, it's not for me to do. What I say, this is just kind of like, my thoughts. I don't want to influence anyone's vote. But, last week I talked up, Winvember a lot. But I think I had a change of heart this week because, as I thought about it, we're saying we want to win by like allowing us to pick the movies. But when you think about it, we've picked all the movies this year. So maybe we shouldn't be in charge of picking the movies. Maybe it should be out of our hands and just new movies that are coming out. Maybe we have a better chance at hitting some wins by leaving it up to chance than to, try to make it happen ourselves. So that's just some reflection. I'm just trying to consider, take my ego out of this and see what's the best for this community.
Florida in chat says fem member. So what does that mean? Does that mean that the women in the Discord choose the movies? Didn't we do that 1 month before?
Yeah, that was a disaster.
That was Danny that said that.
Proto, please.
I don't even remember when that was.
I honestly do not even remember. Was that February? That might have been February. Let me scroll real quick here. Pause for editing. February, we picked The Peasants, A League of Their Own, Mamma Mia, But I'm a Cheerleader.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a great.
And I believe Hillary was in charge of that. So I apologize to you, Hillary, for Danny's flippant remarks just now.
That may be the best month of the year.
I'm trying to play something on the soundboard. It's not playing.
But remember, Proto, I think at one point you sold your vote 1 month. Remember that to the Discord community? You like pawned off your pick.
Yeah.
Is
I've done that
with
in
your
the cards?
bathwater.
I've given away so many of my picks. It's hard to remember when and which one. But yeah, I did do that at one point. I have to get the intern on that when that happened.
Danny, you were talking about some potential picks for WinVember if it wins in our.
What did I say? I mean, I know last week I said 10 movies. Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Which I think pissed off Proto in our DMs. So we can't do that one. I mean, we threw around like maybe Ghostbusters.
Right.
Could be a win. I could dip into one of my favorite genres, rom-coms.
Oh.
We can get a rom-com going in November.
Okay.
Or I just, pull the trigger and do some more war,
Oh my God.
do some more war time.
What if? Just a quick comment to Florida in chat. If you wanted to propose 4 movies for WinVember by the end of the night, I would love to hear what those movies would be for the entire month if you were producing this show.
I would love to get a temperature check from those in chat. If I throw out a pick for WinVember, what's their initial gut response? Because I've been thinking about movies too, but I'm thinking like if you need a win, like where do you go? One of the movies I was thinking of, Goodfellas.
Jesus,
what's the temp on that?
Jesus.
Powered by Riverside FM.
I got an O.
Let's do
I got a no. Never seen it. All right, that's not so hot. So maybe I'm back to the drawing board.
And we just never cover that.
Goodfellas has been banned from ever being chosen.
That's crazy how chat responded to you saying Goodfellas.
I put them to sleep.
I still can't hear the soundboard. I know that played, and I heard a reaction.
I didn't hear anything, actually.
You heard something. I know you did. I know you did. So that's November. The polls are open on patreon.com/70mm. If you're still in line to vote for November, stay in line. The poll will be staying open. I did want to talk about the big Consumer Reports breaking news about the lead content in Huel. We'll save that for the uncut. We have a lot to get to tonight. Matt, Gabriel, and Elliot all joined our Patreon this past week, got access to our Discord, our uncut episodes, longer episodes. Sometimes they go 2 hours long.
Insane.
And the majority of our patrons listen to those uncut episodes. And that's cool. That's what you're here for. And I think we're due for our next, what was the Cage pick? We just did Jackie Brown. What's the next one on the list?
We had a whole new 4.
Is it Black Christmas?
I think we were lining that one up for our Christmas releases.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I thought we were doing it in October.
October releases.
Stay tuned for that.
Probably November at this point.
Let's hear from Danny. Danny's been on a lot of journeys. We talked about it in the uncut section of the show before the show started. You finally settled the score on the big release this past week.
Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I'd realized that I had not done my due diligence on the Halloween franchise. I watched the one with Paul Rudd a couple weeks ago. A bad movie, but not a bad time. That was the gist of my review. I watched Halloween 4. I had an incredible time watching that film. I thought it was an absolute banger. And then I went to 5, and that is Dog Water. I did not enjoy
What happens
that
in
one.
5 that is making it dog water?
Honestly, I if I could remember, I'd tell you. It had like the 2 cops that were like jokey, and they walked out of the Myers house, and like it played like a slide whistle and some like circus music. as if they were like jokey, silly cops, like buddy cops. Sex in a Barn, that one.
Oh, hell yeah.
You know, classic Halloween trope, sex on hay. And then they get stabbed with a pitchfork. So,
what a way to go.
Jeez.
anyway,
Was that the 3D one? That sounds like it's...
was it in 3D?
I think
Maybe that makes more sense.
I'm mixing that up maybe with a Friday the 13th that had sex in a barn that was in 3D.
There's a lot of sex in barns in these horror movies.
Sex in the barn.
That's what the kids were doing.
The kids these days. Then I watched Halloween Resurrection.
The sequel to
2002. Sure. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe. Jamie Lee's in it in the very beginning for like 5 minutes, and she cast her check and left.
Oh, geez.
She left us with Busta Rhymes filming a reality TV show inside the Michael Myers house, and that is not a joke.
Oh my God.
And Tyra Banks is there as his like production assistant.
My God, this movie sounds so
And you
dated.
watched this whole movie?
Watch the whole thing. There's a moment where in the movie Busta is watching some Bruce Lee movies and just really into Bruce Lee's moves and kicks. And when he's confronted with Michael at one point, he's doing Bruce Lee moves towards Michael Myers.
How does it go? How does it work? Does it work out for him?
He says, trick or treat, motherfucker, and kick the door down. And goes at him. And it is, it's a treat. This movie it's very special. At that point he like breaks a stick and starts swinging it around. Whatever, watch it, have a good time.
I mean, spoilers for Halloween H2O. spoilers.
I didn't mind H2O,
but at the ending of that movie is pretty cool, if I remember correctly. Like Michael, quote Michael, gets trapped, and then Jamie Lee Curtis ends him.
Oh yeah. That was pretty badass.
Yeah.
And then the one that I was hesitant on watching was Rob Zombie's Halloween in 2007.
The master of horror himself.
That was a lot of fun. It was brutal. There's it's Rob Zombie, so I knew that what I was getting myself into. Some of the kills, but the backstory leading up to Michael, the night that we all know of Michael killing his sister. I liked that a lot. I thought it was really well done. And then the like play between Michael and Loomis in the mental hospital before the night he comes home. It was a pretty good movie. I haven't gone on to 2 yet. And once I watch Halloween 2 from Rob, I'll have seen all the Halloween movies.
Jeez.
Finished. I'm looking forward to it.
I don't even think Proto kept up after 2.
No, it's fine. I didn't want to trigger any, I don't know, negative feelings from Proto because he doesn't enjoy
it's okay.
franchise.
No, I do. At times I have. There's been moments.
I actually think you might like the Rob Zombie Halloween.
Does Michael get into a station wagon?
Does he try?
He does that in one of the movies you just watched, because I looked at my own review and my review was like, Michael drives again. Or Halloween 4, Michael drives again.
In 4 or 5, he drives a Camaro while he's still being outrun by someone. She's running faster than him driving a 67 SS Camaro.
I mean, he's not a good driver.
He can't see out.
Unless it's a
out the
station
mask.
wagon going up block.
Right, exactly.
I mean, Rob Zombie's Halloween is at 2.8 on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
Is this like, do people need to revisit?
Maybe. I don't know.
Wow.
The thing is, like, the beginning half is new, but the back half is like a shot-by-shot remake.
What's the reaction do you say? Maybe. I don't know.
The guilt in that, maybe.
Wow.
It's going to be a long night. Anyway, I gave Tron Ares 5 stars because it's an absolute fucking banger.
There we go.
I had an incredible time seeing it in IMAX 3D. I saw it at the same theater I saw Tron Legacy in IMAX 3D here in Orlando at Point Orlando Regal Cinemas. Fuck, what a fun movie. The score is incredible. I really love the story connecting Legacy and a bit of OG Tron from the 80s. So yeah, I'm excited to have loved this movie after all the negative reviews. And I knew I shouldn't listen to anybody. All these fake fans starting their letterbox reviews, I didn't really like the original and I really didn't like Legacy, so I'm sure I'm going to like Tron Ares led by Jared Leto. Just don't go. It's not for you.
That's all you have to say. Really.
It's not for you. If you don't like Tron, the past 2 installations, don't go see it. It's not going to make enough money to make another one anyway.
You're suggesting that people are hate watching Tron Ares.
Correct. Absolutely.
This is how they make them pay. They're trying to get Jared this way.
Yeah.
They buy a ticket to go see his movie and they give it a bad review.
They got him.
How many people, do we know how many people have AMC stubs or like A-List or Regal? Like, do those get tabulated into box office receipts? Or is it just like not a ton of people that have it? Does anyone know work for these companies that we can answer this question?
I still had to pay an upcharge for my Regal because I had to see it in IMAX 3D, so I paid an extra $8 for my ticket.
Oh, wait, hold on a second. You did what? You had to pay an upcharge to see it in 3D?
Right.
$8?
IMAX and IMAX 3D have like an upcharge sometimes on Regal.
I'm going to hurt her.
That's how much more it costs to get the 3D on the screen, I guess, to pay for it somehow.
And I mean, maybe because I saw it on opening day, I don't know. But I did have to pay an upcharge.
Still 5 stars.
Proto, when are you going to see this movie?
I was just going to say, the dad signal went up. My dad, it's his birthday in October. And he put out the call to me and my brother. He said, "Hey, I want to go see a movie. Let's go see Tron." So,
oh my gosh,
we're planning. The plan is this weekend we get the band back together.
Do you have an opportunity to see it in IMAX 3D?
Got it.
I don't know. I didn't see. I don't remember seeing that at the AMC, but I could look real quick. I wasn't really planning on it, but I bet my dad would be. My dad loves all that. He'd be down.
It's pretty rad in 3D.
He was like, "What about the 4DX?" And
oh my God.
Like, no, Dad.
Come on.
We're not doing 4DX.
Please, Dad, you're back.
Yeah, his back. Oh, okay. IMAX with laser 3D. Is that it?
Okay.
I bet there's no upcharge of that bad boy.
The $70 ticket.
We'll see.
Well, one ticket will be free. But yeah, that's going to be
okay. Is that this weekend?
Afternoon.
I mean, we got one showing, so if they want to go at 4:30,
prime time.
It's the last week it'll be in theaters, probably.
Yeah, that's what I told him. I was like, "This is our last. This is our last shot.
This is it.
This is going to be on Disney Plus in 2 weeks." Proto, you watched the making of Tron, right? The original?
I did. Yeah.
You watched the documentary?
Yeah. Someone in our community, what was that? I think it was Emma
Lily.
who watched it.
Lily. Yeah, Lily was doing the work.
Sorry to Emma and Lily for the confusion. Lily watched the making of Tron.
The amount of apologies we've had to do to women so far.
We have to apologize a lot.
Settling.
Sick.
At least we're willing to.
But Lily logged it and I was like, "Hello, what is this?" And I saw that it was on YouTube. Fired this baby up. It's great. It's a great documentary about the making of the original Tron. I didn't really know what this was all about, but seeing like the behind the scenes is amazing. Like the interviews that they have for this of like the designers, the people who did like the CGI, the director, everybody on the crew, the producers, they broke it all down. And it was like incredible what went into making Tron. It kind of blew me away in the way that like the Star Wars documentaries do.
Insane amount of work.
They invented like so many things. Like this had never been done before. And they even said this was crazy to me that the Academy would not nominate them for special effects because they considered using computers as cheating at the time.
Look at us now, Mom.
So it's just wild to think of like what they were doing because no one had done anything like this. So definitely worth watching. I had a great time checking this out. And I do want to watch because there's that new 4K of Tron. I got to watch that at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Is that on Disney Plus, the new 4K? Or is that only like a disc
I don't know.
release?
Yeah, I don't know.
What about Toxic Avenger? Do you want to talk about the original Toxic Avenger?
Tron
Trauma?
on Disney Plus is not
You're
in
going
4K.
on a trauma journey with Toxie.
Yeah, I dipped back in the Toxic to Trauma, 1984. Of course, I watched the Trauma Nuke 'Em High a couple years ago.
Banger.
It changed my life.
Okay.
Basically. And Toxic Avenger I didn't like it as much. But I mean, what a bizarre movie. Something deeply American, deeply disturbed images in this movie. Like the activity that's going on is just insane. It was so insane that I had it on and Jenna came into the room and there's just like this scene of like this taco stand holdup where these three guys in like face paint break in. And it's like the most absurd scene with like the most offensive things you can see in a movie that's like happening to everybody. And then Toxic Avenger shows up and he gets his girlfriend there, his blind girlfriend. It's a whole thing. You have to see the movie. But Jenna was just transfixed by this. Normally, any of my nonsense that's on the TV, she's like, ew, I'm not watching this. But this is so over the top. It was like a spectacle. It was as if, I don't know, like God appeared before us. Like her eyes, she could not turn away from the screen in this moment. So that was fun. Wild movie.
Mm-hmm. I just rewatched it too, and before I watched the new one, and definitely not as good as Nuke 'Em High, in my opinion, but still some classic stuff. I mean, it's wild to look back that there was like a Toxic Avenger animated series. I mean, all the animated series, like Rambo had an animated series, RoboCop had an animated series. It's like, what was going on with R-rated movies back then? Any R-rated movie would just be like animated and turned into like to slop for kids. It's pretty crazy to look back.
Yeah. Wait, did you watch the new one?
Yeah, I did. I watched the screener of it. I didn't like it that much, unfortunately. It doesn't get like the tone. Like, there's a definite tone of like, I don't know. How would you describe the tone of like those early trauma movies? They're almost like comedy, satire, like a student movie.
Yes.
Comedies.
Yeah. They're so specific and it's so unique. I don't know how they pull it off. There's something about these movies it's like a lot of tongue in cheek. It's campy, but it's in a way that it just does it so well. And it's just so funny, everything about it. And it feels so purposeful. I can't think of other movies that have like nailed this tone in the way they do. It's something really special. So when you see it, it's just, I think that's what sucked Jenna into it, because it's like, you recognize it immediately and you almost don't know what to make of it because you've never seen anything else like it. It's wild.
Jord asked what the hell trauma is. And Kev linked to it in chat, but it was essentially like an independent film company back in the day, making, weird, zany movies like The Toxic Avenger and multiple sequels. Real quick before we get into the Iraq War. It's what everyone's here for. Everyone's ready, engaged to discuss war. I rewatched The Fly, Jeff Goldblum. Remember that episode we did with Bat and Spider? Double F.
Oh, yeah.
Cronenberg, David Cronenberg, Jeff Goldblum. What a picture. Gina Davis.
Dynamite.
Oh, my word. Just a classic. It's streaming on a few places. Streaming on Criterion right now. I mean, he's got like an afro in that movie. It's very wild.
Okay. I do remember us talking about this, and anytime I think of The Fly, I realize I never want to watch it again.
It's gross.
It's disgusting.
It's very gross.
Doesn't he poop out of his mouth?
He does.
I think we made a GIF out of that. Like, there's a GIF somewhere in our Discord of him just like spitting into his mouth. And then he like spits on that guy's ankle to like melt it.
Oh yeah. Oh, God, it's so gross. Clip it.
Gosh. All right. We should get into, did I watch anything else? I don't think I did. I watched the new episodes of Ghost Adventures. Dan, did you watch those yet? We'll talk about it in the uncut.
That's an uncut conversation because I'm mad that you just said it.
We're not going to put that in the main show.
I can't believe you just said that.
Sorry, everybody.
If you try to tell me it's good, I'm going to be pissed.
We'll get into it.
I'm warning you.
BIGELOWBER. This is our October theme. We're covering movies from Catherine Bigelow. Next week, we will be releasing an episode on The House of Dynamite, the Netflix original movie from Catherine and friends. And we're actually going to be recording that one in person, live in studio together.
It's crazy.
In Orlando, Florida. But more on that next week.
Doxing us. Jesus.
Yeah, people are going to be running down the
Please.
Streets of Orlando with binoculars looking for
Don't
us.
find us.
Episode 286, The Hurt Locker from the year 2008. This won her Oscar. Proto, what's this movie all about?
An explosive ordnance disposal team stationed in Iraq loses its team leader to a detonated explosive and is replaced by Sergeant James, an experienced but reckless tech who takes unnecessary risks. This creates a rift with his two team members who are trying to do their best not to die. As their deployment days tick down, the stress levels rise, knowing that any day could be their last as they handle IEDs and James' maverick maneuvers. The Hurt Locker.
I had to pause the movie and Google, why are we in Baghdad? I honestly could not even remember. And then I was like, oh my God,
blocked
the
it all
Iraq
out.
War. I did block it all out. I have 2001, 2000, the 2002 timeframe, I was in community college. And I think I remember hearing that they announced we were going to war. I think I was in a history class of some kind. And then I remember people in the class were like, oh my God, are we going to get drafted?
I remember that conversation.
And we were all just like, oh God, what is going to happen next? And then, we'll get into it. But I honestly couldn't remember. I couldn't even remember the timeline. It's like we're looking for the people who hit the World Trade Center in the Pentagon. But actually we're going after Saddam Hussein, actually. And he's got weapons of mass destruction. We're going to find him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I haven't thought about that era in a long time. I haven't consumed any media about that time frame in a long time. So this was the first time that I've thought about that war and that long drawn out fiasco.
Never ending.
In a very long time. I don't know. Where were you guys, Proto, in early 2000s and how often do you think about the Iraq war?
Well, I was in the pre-show. I was basically saying the same thing, is that I had to Google when did the war start and when did it end? You could have told me that it started in 2003 and ended in 2018. And, I would have believed you. But it feels like something that's always been happening.
Yeah.
I was 16 in 2003, and it felt like, there's been something going on. But I'm the same way. As I cannot tell you anything, any of major details from it. Yeah. Basically, it just feels like something that's been going on my whole life. And I was 16, so when it quote unquote ended in, I think it said 2011. That's a third of my life, right? At that point, which is crazy. So it just felt like it was always happening.
Danny,
no comment.
Danny is taking the fifth through this entire discussion.
2001 is when I graduated high school. By 4, I was married. So I don't know. That's the time of my life where I was at. I don't remember much about the war.
You had babies?
No, not yet. Not yet. But yeah, I had cousins in the war. One who was hit by an IUD, still alive, preface to say. So there's a lot of it in my family. I've 2 cousins that are still enlisted. So yeah.
I've never seen this movie. I skipped kind of all her filmography. We talked about it last week, but K-19 Widowmaker, none of that stuff. I even really attribute to Catherine Bigelow. So then when this came out, I think I remember I wasn't really watching a ton of movies, I don't think. And nor was I really following the Oscar chase yearly. But then like I just remember that this movie had like a lot of buzz, etc. And I don't even think I've seen Zero Dark 30 after this. But I also don't think I was really consuming a lot of like war media. Like even like when Ken Burns comes around every few years, he's got like a war thing going on. I can never really finish it. I mean, like he did that Vietnam special. Remember we were kind of all talking about that when we used to be on Slack. But if I remember correctly, that documentary was like 60 hours long. Weren't there like, and it was impossible to watch. You needed like PBS cable access, and you couldn't really watch it online. But like when it comes to like, you know, movies like this, I even rewatched Saving Private Ryan a few years ago, and I did not like it at all. Really, like I felt it was just kind of war grief porn, and it wasn't entertaining. And I remember getting some flack about that in the comments because, you know, Saving Private Ryan is kind of considered like, you know, the high water mark for war realism and like what the boys actually went through at the time. But it just wasn't like an enjoyable experience to sit through and watch. But that's just
a good thing. I mean, I think that's a good thing. I think if you're watching a war movie and it makes you not feel good, if it makes you mad and hate the things that you're seeing, I think it's doing its job.
So neither of you had seen The Hurt Locker before this?
No, I had seen it.
No, I hadn't.
I saw it. I want to say it's hard to remember, but what I think is like I probably would have either watched the Oscars or knew that it won. So I think I watched it afterwards at home. So maybe the next year. Because I do remember watching this. And I remember feeling pretty liking it a lot at the time. So I was curious, you know, what it would be like coming back this time.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have seen Zero Dark 30 as well.
I had been pretty anti-war movies for a long time after, I think probably once I saw Saving Private Ryan way too young. I really hated war movies. I hated how I felt watching them. I didn't enjoy how I felt after a war movie. So I would be almost allergic to like seeing any of these films up until more recently. When I looked into like my family history and learned more about my grandfathers and their fighting in the wars, and then digging into stuff where battles where they would have been a part of, Band of Brothers kind of rings a bell and stuff like that. So digging into their history, I started really getting more back into war movies, and then just kind of educating myself on, you know, what these people went through, especially when you think about the war. When you talk about now, it's like, I feel like then I get mad when I watch World War II, World War I stuff, and I'm mad at Nazis. And then I watch like Hurt Locker or what was the most recent Warzone? Was it Warzone? The most recent one? I'm just mad at our government. And then I like a different sort of mad at our politics and kind of stuff like that. So warfare. Thank you, Emma.
What was the pilot TV show that you guys watched on Apple TV?
Masters of the Air, an absolute banger.
I forgot about that.
I think I've seen a lot of the movies that are based on like the Iraq War at this point, or like of this period, because knowing that it's like people who were my age, like those are like the wars I feel like of our generation, you know? So like I didn't serve in that war, but there's people my age who did. And then I was even thinking, did you guys see Jarhead? That came out in 2005. So that came out before this, but that's about the Gulf War. But it's interesting because of the similarities. There was that. And then like, I also saw like American Sniper. I feel like I've seen a lot of them. But it is interesting having watched like Warfare the other week.
Yeah.
And I guess the way that the Hurt Locker made me feel like transported back to that time was much more distinct with the Hurt Locker versus Warfare. And they're very different movies. Like Warfare is very much like a moment in time of like battle and not about so much like the characters. So it's different in that way, but just like that they both happen like a similar time frame. But the Hurt Locker just feels like it just made me think about like this period much more. Maybe it's because it was like produced then and kind of looks like a movie from the 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're talking about, I'm trying to think, we had a conversation about like how soon movies were made about 2000, about 9/11, after 9/11.
Yeah.
And we were like looking back, and I'd say like some of them were only like 5 years or so, and it felt like wild to us looking back. But I mean, this was 2008, so this was still
the war's still happening.
That's still going on.
Yeah.
And you know, it kind of just like drops you into this squadron who are dealing with it, and there's like no, you know, explanation as to the insurgents, you know, why they're doing this, or like kind of why they're where they are and what the purpose is. So it's wild to just like watch this movie and it just be kind of like a moment in time for this like small group of people, and that be it. Like there's no other kind of like overarching story. And I was reading some reviews that said that like at the time, I think this was maybe like a positive because it was apolitical about the war, and it just didn't like glorify the soldiers themselves or the war. And then like 20 years later, I feel like I read reviews that said a lot of people view that as a negative because even being apolitical is being political. Like it's almost like just as taking a stand by not talking about it, or like not choosing a side, but like making an explanation. So
both sides.
You got to hear both sides. But I didn't think of that until after I saw the movie. So when I'm watching the movie, I'm like, you know, this is pretty interesting. Like not taking a side or like not explaining things. It's just like the characters. But then there's like a whole other perspective of it's like, you can't do that anymore. Like it's like irresponsible. So I don't know, Per, did you have any thoughts on that? Like before and after, and like, I mean, this movie definitely hits differently in 2008 than maybe like 2025. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I think you have to say, I mean, the thing I think that's pretty, when you think about the movie that stands out is that it's written from the perspective of American soldiers. So you're following them, and the people they're fighting, their enemies, are almost like non-existent in the movie. Like you see them from afar, or you like don't even see their face. They're not even they don't even have roles. Right. They're just like an enemy out there. They're the bad guy. Like we don't know anything about their story. And you know, I'm not saying like it needs that needs to happen, but I think that draws, you know, when you talk about like, is it taking a stand one way or another? Well, it's telling one person's experience and not from the other side. So like that's some kind of statement about, you know, the movie. And I don't think every movie has to relay that, but yeah, well, I think that is one of the thing, because I was curious as to like how I was going to respond. And I think the ending of this movie was something I really remembered, standing out to me. So I was curious as to like, all right, I vaguely remember him being kind of like happy to be deployed again or something. And that's kind of, you know, what happens. Like he's home and then he goes back and he's deployed. But the way it was presented in that moment, I felt like I almost had like a flashback of a feeling like when I saw it the first time, of like this, like almost like hoorah, like I could be this guy. And I think when I saw it, probably that's what I was thinking. Like, should I be this guy? You know, they got like rock music playing. He's got a smirk on his face. I'm going back, baby. Like, to me, that moment feels like such an ad for like joining the military. I mean, as an American, like growing up, seeing like that was my experience. Like that, I felt like that was what I felt on the inside. And I think that's like, regardless of what you think, like if that's the response I have, like I think that's pretty damning in terms of like the messaging by the end of it.
Right. I mean, is that the same feeling you had now rewatching it at the end?
I don't think I think as like a kid, like I felt that in earnest. Like, am I joining the military? Like, am I joining the Marines? Whereas now I'm like, like that's not my thought at all. I don't have that reaction, but I remember feeling that way.
Mm-hmm. That's how I felt at the end of Independence Day. I wanted to go fight those aliens.
Oh yeah.
Interesting use of words. Christ.
Independence Day, the aliens from outer space, folks. Okay.
Independence Day.
The movie with Will Smith and Bill Pullman.
Move on.
Thank you. Danny, you're about to say something.
What was I going to say? Oh, we were talking about apolitical. It's funny because I didn't even get the apolitical aspect until I maybe saw a comment or a letterbox review about it. And it didn't even faze me about this being apolitical. And maybe because of my knowledge of the Iraq War and where we're at now so many decades later, or maybe not even decades later. So watching it, having the knowledge of where we were at in the war and why we were there, and I didn't feel like it was apolitical. I don't know. Maybe just having the history of it changed how I viewed it in 2025. In 2008, I don't even know how I would have felt watching it. I would probably been a broken man. But yeah, I didn't get the apolitical side of it in this viewing. I mean, looking back, sure, I understand it. But I guess maybe because I focused so much on it being on such a personal level with, Renner's character, Anthony Mackie's character, Guy Pearce's character, and stuff like that. So I think I was so focused on what they were dealing with as an individual person outside, instead of like the grand scheme of the war, that I didn't even think about political aspects of it.
Yeah, Mark Boal, the writer, I think he was embedded with a unit like this for some time. So it's based, he wrote the movie. It's based on like actual time.
Yeah, he spent 2 weeks
with soldiers that were doing this work.
Yeah.
So yeah, that does make sense that, to the soldiers, these dudes, these people they see in these towns looking at them like, videotaping them, to them, they are kind of like faceless locals, for better or worse. Pearl, what's the top of your list for the Hurt Locker?
Well, I guess that was kind of it, the last scene. That was my first point. But Jeremy Renner, I really like Jeremy in this movie, which is kind of crazy to say because I've been a hater for a long time, and I haven't really liked most of his movies, I think, and just like him as an actor. But I think he's really good in this. Like, I find him compelling as this character. Like, I buy into his performance, and the way he's able to present himself as like this. I mean, however you would describe his psyche in this movie.
Broken.
Is that what you say? Broken?
Maybe.
I just think it totally works. Like, I find the character very believable. The way his mannerisms, the way he communicates with his team, but the way that he's like so tightly wound, but like seemingly like just holding it together at the same time. So I really like his performance, and it's crazy to just go back and see a movie that's almost 20 years old now and love a role from Jeremy Renner. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think this is probably the earliest work that I'd seen from him. Also, I thought it was great. I thought it was really good. I mean, the ending is like the story kind of takes you to how many days they have left in their rotation until they're done and they go home, and they're building to that. And then Jeremy does get home, and I mean, he has that conversation. I think I wrote some of it down where he's having a conversation with. I mean, how about Evangeline Lilly just playing the wife? She's in the movie for like 30 seconds. Just like, I remember you made the Discord event that Evangeline Lilly was in it, and then like she appeared in the last 5 minutes of the movie, and I was like, oh, there she is. Yeah, and he's back home with her and his child, and he's like, they need more bomb techs because they're listening to the news. And I thought that interaction with him and her, like she just continues moving on. Like I think she was like making dinner or whatever. Oh my God, that was like the realest line delivery I've ever heard. Trying to have a conversation with your wife and then she just continues on about her business and does not want to talk about it. But man, yeah, like he's back for another year. Like I thought that, I mean, his character being kind of like almost addicted to it.
Yeah.
Which is probably a, now a metaphor in and of itself for the US government at war, or maybe it was at the time too. I'm not sure, but yeah, it is really powerful stuff about like how Jeremy's character is impacted. And like so far the movies that we've talked about, and I guess this is obviously kind of like a theme in her work. Like Catherine Bigelow is like, I'm not sure. Danny, you posted an interview. I wasn't able to watch it, but she does seem fascinated by like masculinity and its impact on the person and those around them, like positive and negative. I don't know. Does she talk about that in that interview that you posted about the Hurt Locker, or was it something else?
No, she really does kind of get into her past a bit. She talks about being a child of the 60s, growing up protesting war, and kind of talks about the horrors and the hells of war as we all kind of agree with. She really was leaning into 2D kind of art, and then she was kind of thrown into a way to make film and using that as a method. I think she just kind of talked about how she really this was just how much the stories she wanted to tell. She doesn't really talk much about the masculinity in it. She really just kind of wants to tell these stories, which I just kind of find fascinating. I want to watch more interviews with her because I really am intrigued by it, because she's been doing it for so long and so many. I mean, they're even coming out next week. We're covering it again, another war aspect movie. I feel different towards her after watching this interview. I don't know, like in a better way, because I found it weird, but now I found it kind of, I don't know how I feel yet about it. It's just kind of ongoing when I read about her and listen to her talk.
Are you ready to make an apology to Jeremy Renner after watching this movie?
No. I will never. Maybe the MCU's actually to blame for my disdain, because I don't know if I've seen much outside of MCU Renner besides this. But I do also agree with you guys. I think he's pretty great in this, and he plays the role of someone who is just kind of gung-ho about this, but doesn't really know how else to live. And it's very visceral when he's doing the grocery shopping, when he goes back and it's just that wall of cereal. And you just feel it. You can feel it in his response to seeing the mundane of everyday life, when he was getting the rush of diffusing these bombs, or, run around kind of even breaking into that kid's house to try and find who did the body bomb of him. And he was addicted to that life, to where coming home to his wife and child, he couldn't even be bothered. It's just, he plays that role really well. And it was very believable. And it just kind of hurts knowing that so many people deal with this, not just like him.
Right. I feel like there's probably, we've watched a lot of movies about like Vietnam vets that come home and have similar issues, but this is maybe like one of the more recent modern, I'm not saying there isn't a lot of movies like this, but this really does hit home of like, people that for our age,
right,
that went through this, and there's no acclimating, really.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have to really go through it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I love that scene where there's the car bomb, and he disables that one. And then like that commander comes over and talks to him and is like, asking him all these questions. And he's clearly like infatuated with this guy. And he's like, how many have you disarmed? And he says 873.
Yeah. Insane.
And like,
you're a wild man.
To think that you could have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of these experiences, like so many that you can't even couldn't even count them all. And in every single one of those experiences, you could think that like any second I could be dead. Like my life could just be over in this moment. Like what that guy has experienced to that extent, it's hard to like, I mean, it just feels so unique in terms of something to live through and that much that, I mean, at that point, it is like a habit, right? This is like a daily routine for this guy. So what that does to, I mean, your body and your mind, it's wild to think about.
I don't understand how people do. I mean, the people that do acclimate, like, you're literally running through the town with a gun trying to find the people responsible for making that kid a bomb. And the next, the next week, you're finding a cereal for your kid. Like there's like, you see it in action movies that like, these macho dudes can do it. And like, they have a secret life back home, but like mentally, is it possible? Can you just like go home, and live again?
I mean, the way you feel after a round of Apex,
Depending on how we play, I can't talk to my wife. I can't go back out to real world activities. It's not happening. One of the top things on my list, that sniper scene.
Oh my God.
Where they meet up with Riff Fiennes, who's in incognito.
Mercenary.
First of all, I don't know why they didn't just announce themselves at any point when they run into his entourage until he's like on his knees and they take his mask off. Like he could have said like, we're British, bruv. But they get like so screwed in that scenario and they had to pull out the sniper rifles. I mean, first of all, like it's insane. Like that, you're an American soldier in Baghdad, and this is also something you have to deal with. Outside of IEDs, you're also dealing with really skilled snipers that are, I mean, how far away was that hut that they were getting shot at by? It's insane. And not only that, but like, I mean, there's so many things called out that scene, but like they're using the sniper rifle themselves to defend themselves, but they're like in plain view for how long, kind of just like assuming that this, like I have eyes on this sniper. He can't be in full view long enough to get a good enough shot on my head. And like, it's so stressful. I wrote in that scene, like, am I getting PTSD just from watching? Like from honestly, from like the majority of this movie, but how close everyone is to just getting murdered, blown up, shot. Like, I think I read a stat that 2/3 of all American deaths during the Iraq War were from IEDs. It's like insane. But yeah, like the sniping scene, all that stuff was wild. Absolutely wild and like extremely realistic. At least it felt that way to me. Danny, I don't know how you felt about that scene.
I mean, yeah, it does feel realistic. And one of the making ofs I watched, they were talking about how hard it was because they filmed it in Jordan, which is borders the Afghanistan border. And I think while the war was going on, they were talking about having to bring in the nightmare of bringing in the black powder just for these guns to do fire blanks was like so hard to do. And then they would like, there was one moment where they couldn't even find a gun, so they used a real gun. The scene where Jeremy, the car drives up on Jeremy and them, and he pulls the pistol out. That's a real gun that they just had to use because they couldn't bring in other guns. So a local base let them use the pistol for that scene or something. Just insane. It's just, I mean, yeah, back to the sniper scene. Watching them use these guns from that range and being just laying there, can't take their eyes off of anything as they crust over on their face from not moving, drinking Capri Suns. Like,
right.
Insane to me. I can't fathom it.
Yeah, that guy hitting the 3 shots off the rip. I don't know. That seems really hard. It looks so far away. That looked like it's like 200 yards or something insane.
That guy is maybe the greatest sniper in Baghdad.
Right.
The guy making those shots.
Easily.
So tough.
Enemy at the Gates-esque.
Oh my god. Oh, talk about Windvember.
Yeah.
Jude Law.
I mean, Anthony got the dude who like he was on the ground and then he got up and he was on the run and Anthony picks him off as he's running. But like they're so calm too, like the whole process. And I mean, even just like how Jeremy is like locked in as his partner in that moment. Like, you know, he's like a bomb specialist, but the training kicks in immediately and he's like scouting for him, assisting Mackie as the sniper. Like, that's just wild stuff. I mean, those like British dudes are just like chilling behind them for how long?
Just hanging
like
out.
just trying to avoid getting sniped. And their
Also,
partner, what's his face? I can't
Pooping
remember
our
his name.
pants, though.
Yeah.
I would be pooping my pants.
The sound of that 40 cal going off.
How about Ralph
how is that
Fiennes,
not
like-
how's that not exploding them from that range, right? In my head, like those bullets are like just annihilating their entire body.
I mean, that's definitely a massive bullet.
Mm-hmm.
Ralph Fiennes, though, his character, I don't know if he had the build for this. When he was when he's running to go shoot those two guys down, it's like he's never run before. His little legs like churning. It's like he's jogging and jumping at the same time. Goofy looking Ralph.
I don't think his character had ever been in a gym, but he was somehow a hired merc, in Baghdad at the time.
That's also
casting.
crazy to think about, though, that like they just have contractors out there hunting down, wanted men. It's crazy.
It just is so stressful to think about, like being in that environment at all. And then like even Renner leaving the base and then having to come back through like the front gates, and like they essentially like let him through like twice, right? But he goes off on his own, and then he talks his team into going off into the town to find, those responsible for the bomb, one bomb where the guy got hit. And then their buddy gets kidnapped. And they have to save him. Like, can we get any more effed right now? Like, how do you even keep your S together where like your buddy is kidnapped, getting drug away? It's just like so stressful. I keep forgetting that character's name. I have the cast up here. Owen
Eldridge.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that Renner shot him until they were loading him into the plane or the helicopter.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Whose turn is it? Danny's turn?
Are we still on our first points? Jesus Christ.
I think so. We talked a lot before we got to the points.
Let's talk about the first scene with Guy Pearce. Kind of setting the stage for bomb defusing and kind of what goes into it. I wanted to throw up watching this scene. I was so stressed out with the robot going up, the wagon wheel falling off, then Guy Pearce's character having to lay the C4 on top of the IED.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I can't fathom doing this. And then to watch it kind of go to shit. And the visuals of that explosion and how she filmed it. I think they saw the thing where it was like they used a camera that was shooting at 1,000 frames a second to get that slow motion because they wanted to show the ripple effect of an explosion going off and how that travels across the ground. And I guess that also I had to look up on how Guy Pearce's character died because I didn't understand how all that Kevlar gear, how his head explodes inside the helmet. But apparently if you're that close to a full explosion going off, it sucks all of the air out of an object. So all of the air out of his lungs expanded, and you can picture the rest. So that's why they were trying to like control the explosion with the C4. So that's how I was like, how did he die with that giant helmet on?
Yeah.
So it was like pressurized air in his lungs just got shot out in a second.
Wow.
or when the wave hit him or something. Anyway, that scene stressed me out. And I think for that to be the opening scene of the movie, it really set the tone for what these guys have gone through and what they're about to go through.
Yeah, that first scene, you're right, because it creates such a contrast between of like how the team handles an IED, and then when James' character appears, Renner, and just how he is completely blasé about the whole thing. And I think that the movie does a good job of kind of like communicating just like how dangerous these things are. Like that scene of how like concerned of like the distance. And it seems like, man, they're pretty far away. But then when you know what it can do, and then even the next scene where it's Renner's first bomb and like that team isn't even on the street with the Humvee. They're like looking for him and they're behind a wall, like in a house because they just know a bomb's this close and like how dangerous it is. So yeah, that first scene, it really just sets up the danger that exists and then how Renner, handles it versus everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that scene that you talked about with Renner using the real gun, I mean, that was an amazing shot of like him in a suit standing in the street and then the car coming up and then everyone yelling. And there was one line I wrote, I think of Renner or someone said it at the end of that scene where they pull the guy out of the taxi. He's like, if he wasn't an insurgent, he sure is now. Like, just an insane scene, like an insane microcosm of like what is going on. Also just Jeremy like dropping smoke at one point where he like went, remember he started walking towards it and he just like started dropping smoke to cover him.
Yo,
what?
The behind the scenes on that was a real smoke grenade that they had to use from the base there. And they wanted to use a stunt double to do it because you can burn the shit out of your hand if you do it wrong. And Jeremy lied to them and said he knew how to do it because he wanted to do it in the scene. He had never done it before. So that's him using the one smoke grenade they had.
Oh my
and he
God.
could have like burned the shit out of his fingers.
Jeremy, please.
Maybe this explains the snowplows incident.
Oh my God, that was Danny Haas that said that. I mean, let's talk about the Owen character. The third member of this group who is talking with, the psychiatrist, the on-hand psychiatrist, who Proto quoted in his review. Let me see if I can find it here. Proto's review. It's 2004 and you are deployed in Iraq working to disable IEDs on a daily basis. And your psychiatrist says, quote, your time here doesn't have to be bad. It can be fun. And then this guy goes out on a security sweep and we see him in action. This guy there's no way he should be near a battlefield.
I mean, he blows up.
Any point, the way he's interacting with these locals. No spine, no authority, and he gets exploded. And poor Owen has to deal with all of this fiasco. Part of your thoughts?
Yeah, that scene. I mean, it's coming too. Like just the way this guy, and just the way the story sets it up. Like, yeah, I'll go out on a mission with you someday. We'll run it together, and you'll see that you can have a good time out here. Exploded. His first day on the job. Exploded. It's wild, and like the look on the kid's face. Like just seeing like that's my psychiatrist who was trying to help me explode.
Right. He told me that this could be fun.
It's crazy.
We're just playing games out here, like shoots and ladders.
Absolutely brutal. I mean, wasn't Owen too the guy at the start of the movie that didn't shoot the dude with the phone?
Correct. The butcher.
Man. I mean, all those locals are so close to the bomb too. It's like we're all just so close to these weapons, these IEDs. Like at any moment, it's over for everybody. It's so wild.
Mm-hmm. You know what I wanted to say, what bugged me about the movie poster is him pulling up all 5 of those IEDs. I was annoyed that was on the poster because that is such like a visceral scene that I wanted to have like a real reaction to, but I'd already seen it on the poster. So I'm like, whatever.
I totally forgot about it. And there's a few other like more cinema mainstream posters. Have you looked at some of the other posters?
Yeah, I looked through.
They look like DVD covers. I think the one
Oh yeah,
the one with Jeremy holding a gun is like the DVD poster I remember the most. That just looks like, here's a war movie for you.
right. Yeah.
Nothing going on. Pro, next on your list?
I found the score of this compelling. Some of the pieces I really liked. There's I think it's like a cello piece that kicks in when they're the sniper scene, like halfway through that, and then by the end of it, when Eldritch he shoots the guy by the goats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the score. I thought it worked really well. And then but then there was there's like some moments of like, you call it like rock songs, I guess. And I was like, what are these songs? But from what I could tell, they're just like a part of the score. Like they're not like
Really?
Yeah, like a band song. At least that I couldn't find it. Which I thought was kind of interesting because I was like, for sure this is going to be some band. Like I can just like listen to the song. But it's a pretty strong contrast between like those pieces versus like the string pieces.
Buck Sanders and Marco Beltrami. Marco, I remember from the Logan score. That kind of like a Western modernized score.
I guess so. Buck
Ford
and Logan,
Ferrari too.
Yeah, they both worked on Ford versus Ferrari again together.
Scream, the original Scream, Marco.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Wow.
World War Z, the Wolverine. Danny, next on your list?
Anthony Mackie. Let's talk about him too, because I think he falls into the MCU kind of despise that I have.
Mm-hmm.
He's fantastic in this as well. I think he plays a really great soldier who feels like he's on the opposite spectrum of Renner, to where he's in this for his deployment. And the scene where he was like crying about he wanted to be home, he wanted to have a son, really got to me. I think that is, I like the juxtaposition of the two characters where Renner has a kid at home, he has a wife at home, he has that kind of perfect life at home waiting on him, and he can't be bothered. Not be bothered. That's not the right word. He can't unplug from war to be the father or husband when he gets back. But Mackie longs for this. And I really liked the two characters being together telling the story, because it's just shining so much light on the men that serve, men and women that serve.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like Mackie in this too. I don't know what else I've seen him in outside of Marvel stuff. Let me see if I click on his filmography.
8 Mile would be the only other thing I think that I would have seen.
Yeah, I don't even have any memory of seeing.
Oh, he's
8
also
Mile.
in Detroit with Catherine.
Oh, interesting. He's also in The Electric State as a voice. So
he's one of the
Proto has seen
voices.
that. Yeah. And I haven't really watched. Man, he's in a lot.
He's in a lot of work.
Scrolling a long time. I think I've watched the Twisted Metal episode 1. That's all I've seen. But yeah, I also really enjoyed him in this movie. I mean, I love seeing like the different ways that these characters interact on the battlefield, like together, but like as adversaries when he's like upset that he takes the headset off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see them
punches him in the
interact.
face.
Yeah.
Hard.
As well he should. I mean, he wasn't even signaling to them. If that went on any longer, they could have blown away those dudes on the tower because he didn't have his headset. So they would have not have known that it's been diffused. And like another 5 seconds, they could have blown those guys away.
Right.
But yeah, like their interactions together on the sniper scene, but then like them interacting when they're drunk, it's like a whole other dynamic of just like the real life personalities of these characters outside of battle. Yeah, so wild.
Yeah, I thought Mackie was great in this as well. Like him and Renner have just great chemistry together. Like their scenes are so compelling. Yeah, like him, there are so many like like I guess like a mirrored reflection with Renner's character in the way, like you were saying, Danny, of just like wanting to go home and have a son. He wants like the life that Renner has. But I wonder if like, is that character supposed to be maybe like a younger version of Renner's character? You know, like Renner's been doing this for longer and like this is where he's gotten to. And if Mackie keeps doing it, like he'll get there as well. I hadn't really thought of it that way until now, but
for sure.
Yeah, I think it's pretty compelling. But they're all like, all three of these characters, they're all pretty distinct. And you can understand their mindset so well. I think it's really like that part of this is really well written in terms of like defining these three characters, and they feel like very distinct people have like living through the same experience, but having vastly different experiences at the same time.
I think we covered all my main points so far. Let me go through my menchies. At one point, Guy Pearce takes his helmet off, and I started getting agitated. I was like, "Come on, don't take your helmet off." That was one thing in the movie. Like, at any point, I felt like, and I mean, this was the point. Like, at any point, I felt like something was about to go down. Something was about to explode. Someone was about to get shot. And there's just like so many scenes where I expected it and nothing happened, and like it is just so tense and stressful. Overhead shot of him pulling up the bombs. Oh, when they were playing Gears of War, I wrote, "Let's go."
Oh my God, Gears of War.
Let's go. Remember when the Xbox had wireless controllers like included with the Xbox, and it was like the coolest thing ever? Like it came with like wireless, you can get wireless charging batteries. That's like maybe the old manest thing I've ever said on the show. Like, remember when wireless controllers came to default? What a time. Let's see. Bombs in the truck. Jesus, what's going on? I don't even remember that line. Why I wrote that. Guy with the video camera. Oh yeah, the trunk with the bombs. Jeez. This guy's a wild man. You're a wild man. What a freak. These snipers are insane. Hurry up with the ammo. Remember when they needed new, like they were out of sniper ammo?
Yeah.
And Owen had to get the ammo? That felt like 30 minutes. They were waiting for the ammo, just sitting there. Holy crap, that took forever. The fly on his eye shot.
So many flies.
Cripes. Gets him a Capri Sun. Insane sequence. The kid with a bomb in his stomach.
Oh my God, yeah.
Holy moly.
That was visceral.
Holy moly. And he carries him out. He thinks it's this kid that was selling him DVDs. He goes on a rampage to find him, find the people responsible. The kid was still alive. It wasn't even the same kid.
Absolutely shook.
What?
How about in that scene where they initially decide that they'll detonate like the whole lab or whatever where the body was? Like, is that just procedure? Like, you know what? Like, we'll just blow up the building.
Just level the building.
Like, that just seems so insane. Like, what are even the protocols for that? Do they like first evacuate like a certain radius? Right. Like how? And like, imagine just like living there and just like, you're occupied by this force and they're just blowing up buildings because there might be a bomb in there.
Right.
It's hard to even fathom.
It's crazy to watch this and think about the insane privilege we have living in America.
I mean, it's wild to look back also knowing what we know now. And, I can't remember. I feel like maybe this was a talking point at the time, but like we went there to topple Saddam Hussein. He was developing weapons of mass destruction. He was like buying the minerals to build these bombs. None of that was true.
I know. There's
like
that
we
too.
we were there for how long? It was all BS. We like destroyed Iraq. We left nobody in power. It created ISIS. And like what we like the damage that the Iraq war and that entire thing is like incalculable of like how wrong that went.
Osama won.
I mean, yeah, look, it's just so effed up. Like it's crazy to look back. And like I said, like I barely think about the Iraq war. I'm sure there are other people like me, but like this was like the biggest, maybe one of the biggest black eyes in the history of the American, government. And like, I don't think about it really anymore. And that wasn't even that long ago.
We don't have any eyes left. Our eyes been blacked out so much.
It is interesting too.
Oh,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say,
I was about to say, I was about to take a shit on. I was about to take a shit on ice, but there's no.
God, he was on the mound about to throw that pitch.
Go ahead.
He balked.
I was just gonna say, like I remember at that time because of like my family and who like the news that I was hearing. Like my perspective was that like, yeah, like this is great. Like we need to do this, yada, yada. Like those were the voices that I heard. I like don't really remember hearing voices of dissent.
No.
And that might just be because of like the bubble that I was in. But having like lived through that and like all the things that you're saying of like, all right, we're hearing about, wait, there was actually no, WMDs, no, and that slowly trickling out over years. And then like my brain having to reprogram to be like, all right, wait, this is actually what has been happening all like these years.
Right.
It's such a weird experience. And I feel like that's part of it is like looking back at that time, what I like lived through and what I understood versus like now. It's almost like hard to reconcile like what to make of all of it.
Yeah. I mean, like in 2025, we're like, our government is like creating our own insurgents in our own country. Like the way that like ICE is pulling people that have lived in this country for decades. They're working, they're contributing. And like people are just getting pulled out of cars, pulled out of schools. Like it's somehow gotten worse. It just somehow gotten worse. Am I getting PTSD? Was my next note. Holy shit, the kid was alive. That guy who's the suicide bomber, he had the bomb strapped to his chest and he had like the locks on him.
No, he wasn't. I guess he's still considered a suicide bomber. I think he was forced into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the locks. Oh my God, what a fucking stressful scene.
That was nuts.
God.
Plenty of time for that. Amigo. Reminded me of a To Live and Die in LA homage. Yeah, I was pretty surprised by this. Yes, it won Oscar, but a lot of crap movies have won Oscar. I've just really tense movie. Pretty well made. I thought the writing was really good. War sucks. That's just what it comes down to. Nobody wins. 4.5 stars, Hurt Locker for me.
Oh,
Christ alive.
Pro.
Are we winning?
It's a Win-Vember teaser.
Can I read to you what it beat?
What did it beat?
Avatar.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
The Cove.
She beat
Inglourious Bastards.
Wow.
Damn. Wait, what did you say? The Cove?
The Cove.
Is that maybe an international movie or something?
She beat out Jim.
Rest in peace, Jim.
Jim made billions of dollars. So one thing I don't understand, and this is probably just my ignorance, but like, why do they find so many IEDs and then can just like disarm them? Like, are they in like they find them in the road for like tanks and like Humvees to drive over? Like, why are they there, and why do they have time to disable them?
From what I read, it was the insurgents were trying to like slow down the army from even being in their area. Like, they obviously did not want the U.S. Army in their country, and there were various different groups of insurgents that all like didn't want the same goal, but like some were more like, I don't know, like terrorists in nature than others. But they essentially just wanted to like destabilize the US military from even like proceeding through their area. So they would just like put them out in the open to just like slow them down, essentially.
Wow. Okay. I guess that makes sense. I saw some reviews talking about the shaky cam, film approach. I think I like that. Like, I like the way this movie looks. I think it feels visceral. It really puts you into it. So it works for me. When Renner takes the fire extinguisher to the car engulfed in flames with an IED inside of it, I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing that.
I mean, how long will it take until it just all explodes, right? Like, if he's not sweeping that thing as fast as possible.
Like, that car was burned to a crisp. And then he's doing like the Joe Pesci like handle check like he does in Home Alone, to see if it's like hot.
Oh my God.
That thing was just on fire and he's touching it. He lives like he can respawn. Like he's just like, I'll just go again.
I'll just respawn at the base. The last checkpoint.
It could have killed me. It's all shit from Radio Shack.
Oh yeah, all this is like trophies.
Oh yeah. I mean, that would be kind of fascinating. All the different ways that like they're made.
Yeah, I guess that one where the scene where he pulls up all 5 IEDs, it was just going to be set off by a D battery.
Yeah.
That the guy just dropped as he ran away. That's insane.
Yeah. Every time we go out, it's life or death. We roll the dice. Yeah, I think that experience of this being super tense and not knowing at any second what was going to happen, I didn't feel that as much this time because of just having seen it before and kind of knowing how it was going to end and like where it was going to get to. But I do remember feeling that way watching it the first time. So I think maybe it's just like diminishing returns on like how the movie's set up, returning to it. I mean, there's a lot to like about this movie. The ending really does rub me the wrong way, though. Like this time, I don't know.
So do you still feel it as like a propaganda-ish, like rah military? Because I view it as like he's just so effed up from like being in the war.
I find it sad.
Yeah, that he like all he knows is to go back.
Yeah, I guess I see it as like, I feel like it's like a cynical look at this life and this experience. And I guess like for me, I can't help but put myself in his shoes. And I feel like in that moment, the movie is pitching, like I feel like I'm being pitched to that this somehow like fits like the American psyche of like a young man. Like I know what I was like as a teenager. And I think having this cynical view of your own life, of what you're doing with it, like what your purpose is, and like, F it all, I'll just go to war. Like, I feel like in that, like that moment, it's appealing to something that I felt as a young person. So I don't know, like that's just my reaction to it. So maybe that's not the intent, but that's how I felt in that moment. I'm at 3 stars for The Hurt Locker.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
I don't have much left to say. I realized talking about this that I feel like I'm Jeremy Renner in the aspect of going back and watching war movies because of how they make me feel. Like I keep going back knowing that every time I watch a war movie, I get either angry or really sad or really mad, and I like it. I don't know. I like to remind myself the shit we've caused, and I like to remind myself the things that people have sacrificed for, us to sit here and just podcast and talk. And I don't know. I'm at 4.5 stars for this film. I really liked it. I thought Catherine did an incredible job telling the story, filming the story, and I'm grateful to finally see it, even though I don't like Jeremy Renner. Right now, I like you. Right now, I like you, Jeremy.
Sounds like you do right now.
Let's talk.
I know Jeremy's listening. Jeremy, if you want to come on,
please, we'd love to chat.
Come on to talk about Up, or any
musical
other
career.
Yeah, your musical career.
Giacchino coming on.
Giacchino and Jeremy Renner on the show together for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I need to find those videos of him joining that like rave DJ on stage and singing.
Oh my God,
he was flying so high. He was burning so bright when he was doing that era.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was like Endgame era, maybe little pre-Endgame.
Had to have been right around Endgame. All of them were riding high at Endgame.
My God, they were gods.
Untouchable.
They were gods. Proto, any letterboxed reviews tagged 70mm pod that you wanted to call out before we wrap up this evening? We have a VM to listen to, nearly 3 minutes long.
Oh my.
Mm-hmm.
Our friend Grugro Dave gave Hurt Locker 4 stars, stress levels off the chart. Eric said, I could have used less shaky cam, but the tension and danger is relentless. 4 stars. Grace, 2.5 stars. Boys will be boys. Parentheses, in the war zone. / watching women directors. Actually, I don't know.
Is that a link?
Is it a link?
No.
Huh.
It's a tag.
She says in chat it's a tag.
Oh, it's a tag. Okay. I apologize. Weston, I mean, interesting. Weston kind of going on his own journey. Watched Strange Days.
Oh,
okay.
A Bigelow movie that we're not covering. Gave it 5 stars.
Oh.
So again, did we make the mistake? We picked the wrong movie for this month?
I think we both. We give it pretty high stars.
Well, I'm not saying that. I mean, if, Loveless or perhaps New Dark. Yeah, that's it for this week.
Okay. Oh, wait, we got to play Tim's VM. That's 3 minutes long. Our friend Tim from the band The Midnight.
Hey guys, Tim here. First time caller, long time listener.
Hey, Tim.
I thought I would send a little voice note to you guys to send my appreciation for everything you guys do, for the show, for the community you've built. I met Slim about a year ago. I was fortunate enough to be able to invite him to my band's show in Philly. I have a band called The Midnight, and we performed in Philly last September, and I invited Slim and his lovely wife out to the show.
Great night.
And maybe I fanboyed a little bit over him. It's okay. That's fine. This is a safe space. So, I thought I would send in my impression of each of you. This is my impression of each of you. So I'm going to do Slim first. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me center myself. Here goes. This is Slim from the 70mm podcast. What? What? You do the math.
Oh my God.
So that's Slim from the 70mm podcast. Here we go. This is Danny. Excuse me? Excuse me? Got him. And then here we go lastly.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's not
really
me.
good. That is a really good wheeze.
Danny.
Holy cow.
And here we go. This is Proto. Proto is more about, we all know Proto's an elusive being. I don't think he can be captured in a mere mortal vessel as such as mine. I think it's more about capturing his essence. And so this is the essence of Proto. Here we go. My kid spilled an entire big gulp in my lap. I'm gonna do that again. My kid spilled an entire big gulp in my lap. Here's the movie.
Oh my God.
That's the essence of Proto. Thanks, guys, for everything you do. I love the show. It's one of my favorite shows, and you have been in my ears for many, many tours, many lonely nights in the tour bus bunk after a long night and trying to get some rest on tour. And while I was finishing our album, Syndicate, the Midnight album, just released a week ago.
Let's go.
Is it number 5 album on Spotify US? Yeah, maybe it is.
Hello.
You know, what's it to you? It's not a big deal. Thank you for everything you guys do. I'm a Patreon supporter. I love what you guys do and the community you've built. So thank you. Goodbye.
My God.
How about those impressions?
Wow, Tim.
He nailed it.
It's just disturbing, honestly. Those
It's kind of
impressions.
scary.
Grace in chat asking Tim, where are you? Tim is not a Discorder. He's not a Discorder. I don't know if he can handle it. But he likes to make phone calls. He likes to make phone calls.
He does.
I can't.
We chatted for a while the other day.
I can't abide.
He called me because Slim sent him to voicemail.
I sent his ass to
He sent his
DM.
ass to voicemail, so he called me.
Oh my God.
Next week is Rebecca Ferguson and Catherine Bigelow's A House of Dynamite. When a single unattributed missile is launched at the United States, a race begins to determine who is responsible and how to respond, rather. Some activity from people I follow in Letterboxd. Not good for A House of Dynamite. But we'll see. Charlie X, it's Charlie BB, famous musician, logged this. Thank God for Catherine Bigelow, heart emoji. All right. So, I mean, that's a good start.
All right, Charlie.
Charlie liked it. So, I mean, what more do you need? Matt Buchanan, co-founder of Letterboxd, 3 stars.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good day at Netflix.
It's good. So this will be streaming on Netflix. We'll be recording it in person in the same room. We'll probably be eating some kind of delicious pizza.
Oh.
Remember that pizza we got last year?
Yeah.
The size of that
5-star.
pie? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh my God. Proto, closing thoughts as we are rounding third for BIGELOWBER.
Sure. I just want to give a movie recommendation this week. If you like The Hurt Locker, another movie that I thought of is Beau Travail, a Claire Denis movie from 1999.
Okay.
About the French Foreign Legion. And Slim, you were saying how like Catherine Bigelow's interested in like masculinity and like stories around that. This movie, you want to talk about masculinity. You should watch this movie. This is on Criterion and HBO Max. I love this movie. I thought it was great. I gave it 4 stars. Another movie, Danny's talking about you like watching war movies, maybe feeling bad. Slim talking about ice. I watched a movie, La Comme l'Océan.
Hello.
About
what did you just say?
La Comme l'Océan. A French movie from the 70s about a young man who joins the German police in this small French town and basically starts wielding the power that he's given to rule over like his fellow citizens and kind of just like revel in it of being the one in charge, but working with the Nazis and kind of doing whatever he wants. So, pretty close to home. But that's a fascinating movie too. So there's my 2 recommendations.
Okay.
You're looking to feel bad about war.
Hashtag feel bad cinema from Proto. New weekly segment coming at you live on 70mm. No Bicentennial Man, I noticed. Recommended in that, though. One day it'll come back. I know it. We'll see everybody next week for A House of Dynamite on Netflix. $70mm is a tape deck production featuring original artwork provided by Danny Haas. Spiritual guidance and V'ger, the robot who loves movies, provided by Pertalexis. Producer at large Dale _A. And music composed by Cinematric. Prints and other merch are available on 70mmpod.com. This episode was mixed, edited, and produced by me, Slim. Support our Patreon for access to our VHS Village Discord to talk movies with new friends, access to our exclusive episodes in the 70mm vault, discounts on merch, uncut episodes, and a physical membership card mailed to you. To check out other Tape Deck podcasts, find the link in the episode notes. And if you'd like to support our friends at Letterboxd and upgrade to Pro or Patron status, you can do so with a 20% off discount using the links on 70mmpod.com. Goodbye.
This is a Tape Deck podcast.